Archangel Michael, Pyramid of Control. This was a conversation with Archangel Michael in the meditation and by telepathic communication. He wanted to help us gain an understanding of what is happening in the world beyond what is being reported to us by the media. He said, "Archangel Michael, I have to inform you that at the present time, the human dark forces is doubling its efforts in its unconscious opposition to the light. I am saying unconscious because I am now referring to the human dark forces, not the forces of darkness upon the astral realm. In its error, the human dark forces is using strategies of darkness and dishonest methods to maintain power and achieve an agenda which was that of its overlords. But the people in various positions on the evil pyramid of control are unaware of the ultimate agenda. This is my first point. We are talking about the dark forces in incarnation that came from Maltese have recreated their supremacy in the previous Atlantean era and are now representing Atlantis Rising. You are thinking of some governmental leaders, but these are not at the top of the evil pyramid of control, and they do not have the knowledge that you suppose they might have, such as concerning the presence of galactic beings in the solar system who operate as a spiritual hierarchy upon the higher realms or that of the archangels. As to secret research and secret technology, some individuals at the top of the evil pyramid have access to more information. A group with an agenda of self-service has policies and philosophies to justify their ends and methods. They are tyrannical and have inherited a system that has existed for thousands of years. They are making the effort and doubling it, as I said, and are engaged in a scheme to make mankind believe it is plagued by terrorism. It's an enemy they have created. You have studied what Carol Rosen has disclosed. At the top of the evil pyramid, there were individuals who planned a long-term scenario of introducing the idea of various enemies over a certain period of time. In fact, decades. They played a first card by presenting some communist countries as a first enemy. But Russia was consecrated to the Sacred Heart of Mother Mary and was reborn. The other enemies were to cause fears and chaos following the staging of a scenario with 9/11s. Though it was an inside job, it was used as an excuse for war. The idea of the enemy served the war industries. The threat of asteroids also was on the list to justify the weaponization of space. At the top of the evil pyramid, someone entertained the dream of opposing the forces of the light without appreciation that their technology is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the secret one the elite or dark forces possesses. With their last card, the conspirators planned a scenario which they hoped would fool humankind with their semi-secret blue beam holographic technology. They would claim aliens are hostile and stage attacks from outer space with UFOs, the existence of which they have suppressed for decades. They would create fear and chaos, and it would be an excuse for the weaponization of space. They would present ETSs as hostile, and for those at the top of the pyramid, it may be part and parcel of their Antichrist agenda and of their sabotage of the ascension process. Although they have little understanding of it, those beings who were waging a battle against the forces of the light were dwelling upon the lower astral level of the planet. This realm has been raided by our forces and been completely cleared, and the lower astral realm has been dismantled. As to the astral level, it is still being worked on. And recently, as announced as a major event, a negative force has been removed, although there are still pockets here and there that remain. What is happening is that some individuals in position upon the evil pyramid are being changed and awakened and are beginning to break into new paradigms. They might be politicians or in other fields. They find themselves in disagreement with other individuals upon the pyramid of control, none of whom has full knowledge of what is going on and are being ruled and influenced from the top. A disintegration is therefore eating the system from within. The actual secret runaway society that functions upon the colonies of the other planets of the solar system with their various organizations and alliances is disconnected from the earthly pyramid of control, which is the last power to hold mankind captive. This earthly dark forces realizes they are losing power. They are in a panic and disarray. As I have said it earlier on, they are doubling their effort to stage terrorist attacks to cause the nations to decide to go to war, as well as for various schemes of control. They are also presently working on the dissemination of animosities between the West and the Russians. However, there also is local violence because the creation of an enemy or its amplification has resulted with hate where there is a potential for the apparition of extremist views. Some individuals have achieved the peace and calm of the fifth dimensional perspective or consciousness. Others lack the ability to love or broadcast love. Feelings projected onto other beings do affect them. But fortunately, negative energies, which are a misqualification of God's light, can be transmuted by the violet flame. Some things may seem right to some individuals on the pyramid of control, but are the ways of darkness. The light is, however, penetrating the darkest places. They are doubling their efforts, but do not suspect their false scenarios are going to become obvious as many people have gained a perception of higher consciousness and will see beyond their lies. Brexit has started a chain of reactions, and the liberation of many nations from the forces of darkness is being played out. Disclosure will continue, and we will soon enter a time of transition when mankind can pick up the pieces as well as start a work of recreation. I mean, bring into being the creation of new Gaia. Do rejoice as we of the higher realms, archangels, masters, and galactic beings are with you always. We love you and are getting closer, and we assist mankind with love and light. Your defender in battle, Archangel Michael. Christine Andre, my ascended twin flame, tells me by the method of telepathic communication how important it is to him that we reunite. This is true for other ascended and galactic as well as angelic beings. This is about a reunion without interference where existing relationships are concerned and in which free will is preserved, and it's all part of a development and fulfillment within the divine plan. Because of the situation that will be explained in a minute, many ascended beings will have to create bodies. I mean in the sense of creating a lower vehicle by will to come among us. They will slip into them. Then, while we carry out our sacred labor of the recreation of Gaia, some of us will have 400 years to live in physicality before we reintegrate with our higher selves. This coming together should start occurring within 2 years at the same time as what has been called first contact. It's at that time that we will be given healing in light chambers and can also undergo rejuvenation and transformations. Before that, Andre stresses that we should focus on healing as well as going to bed before midnight, so there is time for the angelic hosts to lift us up to the etheric retreats out of the body. When we sleep at night, we can then be taken to healing chambers and receive treatment upon our finer bodies, which will trickle down to the physical level. I have experienced healing lately. 3 minor conditions which I have been suffering from and which have persisted for years are on the way out. However, one of my problems is that I don't go to bed early enough, and that's why Andre has insisted in our communication this morning that I realize that it's important. After I started taking note of what I remembered of our telepathic conversation, he dictated to me the following message by telethought transmission. Andre, dear ones, many beings are experiencing love as if they were the polarized extremities of a flame. And it's because it's their nature. It's how they were created. And they are the magnetic mirror version of each other. Like one being that was split in two in incarnation, and sometime one is an embodiment and the other is not, and the other can be ascended. It is when you are ascended that you realize most of all the magnitude of the importance of the reunion I am talking about. At the deepest place of soul level, we are one, and yet we remain incomplete without that reunion. If one's other half is in physicality, in order for many of you to reach the time of reunion, it's important for you to have enough sleep and be healed. Many old souls, galactic ones, ascended masters, and angelic beings have sent an extension of themselves into embodiment to carry out a sacred labor or mission for the recreation of civilization and of Gaia. And although you may think that 8 billion people or inhabitants is a lot, there are still souls in need of physicality that are unable to incarnate, and some do, but not for long due to the high rate of mortality on Earth at this time. Many have been aborted as fetuses, and many people lose their life because of the atrocious conditions prevalent on Earth today. For this reason, I do recommend you all do your best to survive to reach that time of transition, which is getting closer because of the importance of achieving an ascent in physicality of lifting up the place of vibration of the material world. This results with a ripple that reaches the extremities of the universe, and when you ascend, you do so for your galaxy. Having said this, nothing is not lost when souls have lost their lives and are classed as discarnate, as they are sent to the mystery schools upon the higher realms in order to achieve their ascension from that side of the great river of life. They can ascend without their bodies. Then they can create one by will at a later time. The ascended masters can do this and walk upon the physical earth among mankind without having gone through the process of birth, of being a child, and of growing up to the adult state. It's all part of the divine plan. At this time, all souls, including those that are in embodiment, can also attend the mystery schools upon the higher realms in their finer bodies when they sleep at night. You can make the request before you go to sleep of being taken to those schools, as well as the etheric retreats of the ascended masters and the archangels. Many tutors are on their way to help the souls of light to ascend in consciousness, rise in vibration, as well as to create a golden age. The shift to fourth density is one that will place the souls dwelling in the consciousness of the fifth dimension in conditions in which new laws will apply to their lives. Effects will be created faster out of causes and prayers. Visualizations will have their results faster. The calls will compel the answers at a faster and more potent way. There, however, will be a need for control. This power cannot be given to mankind unless peace and calm rule their hearts and minds, and they are in the process of integrating Christ consciousness. So the bulk of mankind that does not dwell in the consciousness of the fifth dimension will not enter the kingdom. This crossing over to a magical kingdom will not yet be the kingdom of heaven on earth, nor the fifth kingdom, as this will follow later. This is just the decompression chamber, the decontamination one in which purification is still taking place. It will be a time of transition to another jump, a quantum leap to higher life, to the fifth dimension for your physicality. But before that can happen, there is much work to be done, much healing to take place, and teaching must be given alongside disclosure and must be received in the company of saints and galactic beings who are assisting and also will be involved because of their sacred connection and relationship with you, the incarnated ones. You who are an embodiment and have to take your bodies and lives very seriously, as well as remember the value of other lives. Not only because lives matter, as they say, or because the rights of every human being should be respected. This respect for life derives from the love that the Universal Mother and the Great Central Sun have for all beings. The value of your incarnation and of your bodies should also be appreciated because millions of souls are unable to enter physicality due to the rate at which lives are lost on Earth. We are coming to put things right upon the surface of this world and help you to restore righteousness in those matters in which you are powerless in the face of the conspiracies of the dark powers which have oppressed mankind. This planet is able to sustain billions more inhabitants. It has certain resources as yet undisclosed or undiscovered with better organization and new technologies. And when solutions are introduced to eliminate garbage and recycle waste and produce food as well as create housing, the population will be increased. There will not be any financial problem. There will be prosperity, and everyone will be cared for and will contribute to society in the way that suits them, and free will be preserved. You will not have to worry about repaying a mortgage, nor whether your pension will be sufficient in your old age, because you will not be aging. And the process of rejuvenation as well as healing has already started. Healing doesn't take place directly at the physical level yet, but is given when you are out of the body at night. You are taken to healing chambers while you sleep. So survive and look after yourselves, and do not work too late if you can avoid it. If you feel a vibration surging up your body, you are being given healing even while you are awake. You should be getting used to paranormal experiences of this type. Have a good night's sleep and attune with your I Am presence daily, especially first thing in the morning if possible. Before you get out of bed and before closing your eyes to sleep after you have gone to bed, have a thought for your ascended masters and your guardian angels as well as the archangels. Call to be bathed in the light of your I Am presence, or for the violet flame which provides solutions to personal and global problems. Remain in Archangel Michael's protection as well as his legions of the first ray, so you are not affected by the human effluvia of those who are broadcasting hate or negative energies because something in their psychology has not yet been resolved. Pray that they may be cut free from all that does not represent Christ consciousness and according to God's will. It just takes a few seconds to raise your heart and mind to the powers that can send you healing, illumination, the resurrection flame, and to guide you upon the path of the ascension. Make those calls lengthier if you are in a situation that permits it. Remain protected in the tube of light that keeps you free from the negative energies that are still being generated in your psychic and physical world. You will be more protected from all of these third-dimensional creations after you have crossed over to fourth density. You are multidimensional, so you exist upon a number of levels and dimensions at the same time. When you are taken up one notch higher upon the ladder of these levels, you will have access to grounds which you could only previously reach for fleeting moments, and you will forever be unable to sink down to the base that previously constituted the bottom of your spectrum. You will not disappear from the sight of those ones who will be able to partake of this fruit of the esoteric tree of life, this divine consciousness. And you will still be moving in the world as usual in physicality, but in a higher form than the one you have experienced so far. You will soon notice that miracles are taking place. The time of transition will be one of disclosure, of great encounters, of teaching, of learning, of discoveries, of new technologies and transformations, but also of healing, rejuvenation, enlightenment, and great achievements. It will be magical, a time when dreams come true, a time of happiness, of resurrection or reunion, of love, and of great celebrations as the ancient prophecy concerning the role that the earth was to play in the end days. This time of ascension, when physicality was to be lifted up to a higher frequency of vibrations, will have been fulfilled. As Lord Sanat Kumar has stated it, the solar system is presently in a stargate that it penetrated. Its destination is the Sirius constellation and the star that the Hopi Indians have called Cassina. This was transmitted by Andre with love and light.